protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is that he has smashed records for illegal immigration. Despite having been put on notice in a series of letters, one of which I delivered to him by hand, President Biden has ignored Texas's demand that he perform his constitutional duties. President Biden has violated his oath to faithfully execute immigration laws enacted by Congress instead of prosecuting immigrants for the federal crime of illegal entry. President Biden has sent his lawyers to federal courts to sue Texas for taking action to secure the border. President Biden has instructed his agencies to ignore federal statutes and mandates the detention of illegal immigrants. The effect is to illegally allow their en masse parole into the United States. By wasting taxpayer dollars to tear open Texas's border security infrastructure, President Biden has enticed illegal immigrants away from the 28 legal entry points along the state's southern border, bridges where nobody drowns, and into the dangerous waters of the Rio Grande. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm to the people all across the United States, and we see that happening in New York. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That is why the framers included both Article 4, which promotes the federal government, quote, shall protect each state against invasion, and Article 1 and 10, Clause 3, which acknowledges, quote, the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders. The failure of the Biden administration under Article 1 and 10, Clause 3, to invoke Texas's constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statute of the contrary. The Texas National Guard, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority, as well as state law, to secure the border, the Texas border, signed Greg Abbott, governor of Texas. Now, before we get into Joe Biden's response and what has happened with all of the states, I'm going to play you a clip of what Joe Biden said in the Democratic debate when he was running for president in 2019. It's hard to believe also that this was Joe Biden because he speaks so much more clearly than he does now. Listen to this. Oop, my volume was off. Let's start that over.
What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come. I would change the order that the president just changed, saying women who were being beaten and abused could no longer claim that as a reason for asylum.
So there you go. President Biden told us 4 years ago that this was his plan. So when he comes out and says that the borders are not being invaded, that the borders are not open, we know that's a lie because this is what his plan was all along. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Now, this is what's happening with Joe Biden's response. For one, he has John Kirby saying this when asked in a press conference. Listen here.
Thank you, John. are you guys making it easier for people to enter the country illegally?
I don't believe we are. Why do you think we are?
Well, you guys sued to cut razor wire that was put in place by Texas officials.
So that the Border Patrol could actually do their jobs. But keep going.
Well, you won in court, so now what? The Border Patrol Union president is saying the Supreme Court's decision is going to undoubtedly encourage more illegal immigration. Do you guys know better than the Border Patrol Union?
The Border Patrol needed access, and that's why we sued to get rid of that razor wire.
So the Border Patrol Union said that cutting the razor wire will make it easier for illegal migrants to cross over the border. But John Kirby, speaking on behalf of the White House and the Biden administration, when asked that question, is telling you that they sued Texas